That was a low blow. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
It is 6:30 p.m. on Wednesday, May 15th, 2019. And I would like to welcome all of you to the clubhouse for the monthly meeting of the Board of Directors of the Pine Ridge Condominium Association at 4801 Lakeside Club Boulevard. The meeting will now come to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Janet Mirando,
Here.
Ken Jerome,
Absent.
No, Ken Jerome, here by phone.
Oh, he's here. He just hung up.
John Fricker, obviously, here. Scott Harris, Mike Lalland,
Here.
Isabel Costanzo,
Here.
Phil Schifano.
Here.
And Ken Jerome, here.
Here.
Okay, he's here. Okay, have we had proof of notice of the meeting?
Yes, the meeting was properly noticed.
Five.
Was that something? Thank you. As you people that were here last month know, we had an atrocious meeting. It was the worst meeting I have ever been to. I was president of the Fort Myers Association of Realtors for 2 years, Women's Council the year before, and president of the Builders Association. Also, I never was at a meeting which was so disruptive as the one we had last week. It was terrible, and I'll tell you, we will not have another meeting like that. The rules and regulations will be followed, and if they are not followed, we will adjourn the meeting. It's just absolutely ridiculous. I want to read you this one thing. You got this paper today and another paper about the way you come up and speak at the times that you are allowed to do so. And those things absolutely were not in a few years back. But they allowed that so that people could come and have a part and ask some questions, and hopefully we can address those and get some answers for them, not immediately. You don't say we want this and we say that's fine. It's not done like that, and I'm sure you all know that. Anyhow, those things were added so that you could participate. And I think most of you have always been glad that we did add those things. And I'm not saying I was one that added them, because I don't remember if I was here when they first added or not. But anyhow, I want to read you this. You got copies of those with your literature today, and also this that I'm going to read you, which I'm not going to read the whole page, but I wish you would read the rest of it. The Board of Directors welcomes the presence of members at all meetings. However, it is essential for the efficient and effective transaction of association business at these meetings that all members of the association conduct themselves in a businesslike, ethical, and appropriate manner that serves the best interest of the association as a whole. To that end, all members are expected to adhere to the following code of conduct at all such meetings. The association shall have the authority to enforce this code of conduct using any means available under the governing documents or state law. We will not have a disruptive meeting like we did last month. Thank you all for your attention, and please, all of you, let's try to work together on this. We can have a good time, but we don't need to have a meeting like we had last time. It was just absolutely ridiculous. Okay, now we're gonna go on ahead with the meeting. Any of the minutes, do you want those to be read or? From the last meeting, should the minutes be waived or read? Are they going?
I make a motion to waive the reading of the minutes.
Thank you very much. Do I have a second? Second?
I'll second that.
All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say no.
That's for me, I'm not here.
We'll now have the manager's report, please.
Hey, Ken, we've got you on here. Good evening, everybody. Janet brings it up, last month's meeting did get out of hand. And one thing I would say is, the thing that makes this community special, at least to me, is that people really do try to care about each other, try to help each other, and be there for each other. And I hate to see division and different groups ganging up against others over what is, in the grand scheme of things, small potatoes, if you really look at, life and what we're doing here and that. So I hope that people can just have some perspective, and this is important stuff, and it's a big business, but it's not, by any means, a reason for people to be, physical altercations and things like that I heard were happening after the meeting. We don't want to ever have that again. So, to get into the manager's report, the roofing, the shingling, and that part is complete. The guttering is continuing. They were on building 203 today, and they'll be making their way through. I would say we've got 2 or 3 weeks more of guttering. This week the weather doesn't look like it's going to cooperate for several of the days, so on those days we do try to do the 1-story buildings, but we don't send them up to the 3-story the owner of the company, I've communicated with him how critical it is to get the gutters on as quickly as we can, especially with all the rain coming. So he committed to me that he will do. The sidewalk expansion to 5 feet on the north end of the pool, we will be undertaking that next week. We have that scheduled. Getting back to the roofing, the roof did a good job. The shingles look really good. We actually even added the front entrance guard shack. I don't know if you noticed that. Janet asked me to have that done because it looks so nice everywhere else. But now that the roofing is just about done, we can move on to project number 2, which is going to be our sod project that I know a lot of people have asked about. Now, we met with the sod company yesterday and went through the areas again with them, and we're going to need a significant amount of sod. I would say at least 2 truckloads of it, and the areas that are what I would say the worst and that we've gotten most of the complaints about are areas that have this, it's called crabgrass or carpet grass, and it's actually a 10-day process of killing that before you put the new down, or else it will overtake the new. But that's all included in the installation of the sod. So originally we budgeted about $5,000. That's enough for about 1 truckload of sod. I spoke with Scott, our treasurer, and there's more than enough money in the reserves for landscaping for us to use some of that and increase to at least double. And then once we get through that, we'll see where we are, and if we need to add more, we can add it as needed. We'd like to get the sod project done. I'm hoping that they can start maybe next week, killing the grass that we don't want anymore, and then the following week or 8 to 10 days after, start laying the new sod. We want to have it all done sod-wise by the 7th of June, which is a Friday. The reason for that is because on Monday, June 10th, we intend to start seal coating the streets. And that will pretty much take us through the end of June. It'll only be about 6 to 8 working days, depending on the weather, of course. But they won't necessarily be here every day. They'll be here Monday, Wednesday, Friday type of thing, so that way the tar has enough time to cure before they paint the lines. Because one thing that is notorious is if you paint the lines before the polytar is cured, the white paint will turn brown, and it happens quite frequently, and we're not going to accept brown lines, I told them. So, but those two projects back to back with the roofing, we're really knocking some big things out and accomplishing a lot. So it was very good. The parking bumpers were painted. That was step one of the seal coating. We added some signage around the community. I'm sure you guys have noticed that. That's also part of revamping the roads. So I don't know if the signs are working. I saw someone driving very, very fast today, but at least we're trying.
Gonna have to get it gauged.
To make it safer back here on the bandstand for people to get up and down, we added a set of stairs. There's 3 stairs. We've been continuing to rebuild the meter rooms on the side of the buildings. We're almost actually through. We probably have maybe half a dozen more that really need some work. But out of 26, that's pretty good. Dryer vent cleaning on the multi-story buildings is happening right now. If you guys wanted the interior service, I recommend you call right away and make that appointment with them, because I believe they're only going to honor the discounted rate while the project is happening. Tree trimming, we've had our trimmers here. I'm sure you guys have seen them. They're focusing mostly on the Mayho trees in the back, trying to get that trimmed before hurricane season and before it's too wet back there for us to drive the machine that does the trimming. So that was the main focus, along with other things that we thought would be a hazard in a storm, or certain requests that people made that trees needed to be trimmed. Our accounts receivable, since Scott's on the phone, he's not going to verbally do his treasurer's report. You have it in hand. But accounts receivable, just so you guys know, we have 2 accounts that are over 90 days in arrears. So out of 462, that's excellent, and those 2 will be addressed shortly. Our pool and spa were inspected by the health department last week. We passed, and they said it was very good. A couple minor things, but just wear and tear stuff that they point out. So Bruce is doing a good job out there at the pool. Security patrol has been going pretty well. I think it's given some people a little bit of peace of mind. Randy, who's the guard that you met last month, he's actually not going to be our guard anymore. We're going to have a new guard named Marco, and Marco physically is in a little better shape, can maybe get out and do some foot patrol on the east side of the lake, and some different things like that, because I think that's some of the stuff that we want. And we talked about putting him on a golf cart to ride down there, but you know, I go across the lake on the golf cart and I speed down there. And if there was something, you really have to get out and walk it or drive really, really slow. So I like the idea of a foot patrol with a flashlight if we're going to do that. So if you see him around Marco, and we're going to switch back and forth from an unmarked silver, like old police car that really would look like a police car. They'll put their security tags on it, but we'll switch between that and the marked security car. So people will see that silver Impala or whatever it is, and they will think it's the police, or it's Crown Vic, right? Trash, we lowered it to 1 time a week. Every year, that 1 day a week is Monday. This year, the trash company, they can't do it on Monday. They just said their schedule is crazy and trucks are breaking down and this and that. So Thursdays is trash day, just so you know. Thursdays is trash day. In October, towards the end of October, we'll up it back to 2 times a day. Last couple of things, we've ordered some fish to stock the lake. We're just gonna spend about $400 on fish, and it'll be largemouth bass, bluegills, and then there's a certain type of catfish that actually works and eats the algae, so it'll help keep the algae down in an all-natural way, and we haven't done stocking the lake in about 5 years, so it's a big thing. And the last thing is on Villa Drive. Some of you guys may have noticed we lost one of the Bismarck trees. And that row of Bismarcks is just such a neat thing, and they're such expensive, beautiful trees. The reason that that one died was beetles got into the crown of the tree and ate the heart, and that was that. So once that happened, we immediately treated all the other trees for exactly that. And actually we've done multiple treatments, and they came back and sprayed the tops again just last week because we don't want to lose any more of those. So we're doing everything we can to prevent that, and hopefully soon we'll have to get a new Bismarck and put it there, and it'll take a while, but it'll grow into one of the other ones. So thank you. That's all for tonight.
Now you guys, I made a mistake. Can you believe it? I did not call anybody to speak to us. And I went on with the meeting and nobody said anything.
Well, we're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to, that's right. Anyhow, since you didn't say anything.
Yeah, so it's my fault.
He's the boss, it's supposed to be his fault. Okay, anyhow, people, I did not do that purposely. But anyhow, before I go right to that, he told you about the treasurer's report for y'all to read it, that you got it. Okay, now the next is the president's, and that's what I'm gonna tell you about this mistake I made, and I'm gonna call on you now to speak. John? Mo?
Good evening, Board President. Thank you, Vice President and Board members. My name is John Mao. I live at 9620 Village Drive, number 4. As you recall, I was here at the last meeting. I left before you had any of the other skirmishes, so I'm sitting in the back. So if you need me, you call me. First things first, with your security, maybe you could get some additional magnets that say security, and the people that are here in the community could drive around with that on their car and maybe deter other people, because we've done that in New York. So as you remember, I submitted 14 bullet points to you. I do remember somebody saying that they stated that if a dog was injured inside the fenced area, that the homeowner's insurance would cover it. I actually spoke to an insurance agent, and they told me the actual statement is that they need to purchase additional coverage for that pet, and they have to pay for an addendum to their policy. We did discuss liability and litigation if there were any issues filed against the HOA. As you know, many of the snowbirds, as well as the renters, whose dogs may come from other parts of the country or Canada, they may carry different diseases that our pets are not accustomed to here in Florida. So I know that that would be a problem for a lot of dogs to tolerate. So just a heads up, will the HOA have to cover those liabilities? Thank you for volunteering for our community.
Thank you. Okay, next here, Tom Trina.
Good evening, I'm Tom Trino. I live at 4741 Blackberry. And I've got a letter to the board I'm going to hand out and then read to you so you can follow along as I go.
Tom, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is a personal thing,
Yeah.
and I don't think we should be handling it in front of all the people. We will handle it with you personally, though.
Okay? I'll
Okay.
do that then.
Thank you.
I was
Bill.
told to bring it up here.
Huh?
I was told to bring it.
Yeah, you're welcome to bring it to the meeting, but if it's whatever.
Nothing can be done about it here.
Well, I don't expect.
It doesn't make sense to make the other 50 people in the room listen to the individual issue. We should.
That's what I thought.
Now, you can speak if you want to, but it's,
Well, I was just following the rules I was told to bring it to the board. And all I'm asking for is if you could, there's further information coming on this issue, and I just want to make sure that my windows aren't painted in my absence, before we get a chance to put on the issue. We can meet sometime in the next 2 weeks.
yeah. let's do it.
All right, that'll be fine. We'll meet.
Okay.
You just let us know when and we'll get together. Well, we'll,
I'm available anytime.
okay.
See you next week.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Now, would you still like to speak?
No, I was just back up, yeah, that's.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Now, Shannon, you checked this, but you didn't say you wanted to speak. You don't check for a speak.
It says in the rules that you check, make a check if you.
All right, then I'm calling on you to speak.
I thought I was gonna be the only one that got to speak, because I was the only one that put the check in.
No.
No.
Check.
I had a couple of questions. Are we only replacing gutters where gutters were? Or are we putting gutters consistently on all of the, on Kentucky buildings?
Consistently.
Okay. And then the other thing I wanted to say is, and I just missed it, how much was it to do the fish?
About $400.
$400, okay. And then the other thing I wanted to say is, I was president of the social club for a while, and I know Isabella's been president, and there's other people in here. It's a very difficult place to be in Janet in the board's position, and I understand that. But sometimes, when we did things with the social club, we did things that I didn't like, and we did stuff that some people didn't like, but we might have people who really like bocce, we might have people who really like potlucks. It's not about what you like or what you don't like, it's about what's best for our community, and that's what our board is charged with.
That's right.
And, I don't fish, so we're spending $400 to put fish in.
I thought maybe you wanted to pay for the fish.
I'm just saying, I know the dog thing is a touchy thing, but I just wanted to reiterate, when I was doing the social club, I felt like if there were, 5 people that wanted something, then there were probably others that didn't speak up and wanted it. And if it wasn't gonna hurt somebody, and if it wasn't gonna be a huge issue, and somebody would take responsibility for it, we tried to do it. And it became a lot more inclusive with the social club, so.
Yeah, and one thing that
Right.
I would add, just sometimes issues can get controversial, and it almost becomes more about winning or losing than about the issue. And we're a community, so everybody's in it together, and every vote isn't gonna go the way I want it to go, or the way board members, you guys want it to go. Losing is just as much a part of it as winning, but you stick together and you are a community and make the best of what you're doing. That's what these guys are charged with doing, as Shannon said.
All right, next on the agenda are committee reports. Does any committee have a report? No. No. Well, that's good. Oh, excuse me, I didn't mean to say that. Anyhow, we will now have an update on the seal coat, but I believe that he already gave it to you in his, the information there.
Janet, did you do your president report?
I told you, I just did. I called those people. Thank you.
They're out of order, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay. I just didn't want you to miss
Yes,
it.
you are out of order.
I was out of order.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay, we're going to continue discussion now from last month on the possibility of a dog park. And I would like to state the following. Please don't talk out there. That's in these little things too, you guys. Last month, Isabel presented to the board and proposed to add a small fenced dog area on the property here. A motion was made and approved to table a vote on this item until the board had time to review it extensively in this past month and to propose and revisit it and come back with something else or with nothing. So we are coming back with something. It was suggested by a member that we approve the dog park in a trial basis, as we have other things, such as music around the pool, which was a controversial topic, really controversial, but we tried it and it worked. So, do I have a motion to approve installing the dog park on a trial basis for up to 1 year? But if any time during that year it doesn't work, people, it's gonna be stopped. We're not gonna have a problem.
I make a motion that we go ahead with the dog park on a trial basis for 1 year. And if there are any problems, we will stop the dog.
Do I have a second?
I second that.
Okay, is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Anybody opposed, please say nay. Hearing none, the motion carries. We will work on that, folks. And hopefully you'll all be happy, or you'll know somebody that is happy about it. Okay? I don't have anything other business lawfully to come before the board, but it now is time for any questions that anybody had to answer concerning the things that we've talked about here. Would anyone like to say anything? Yes.
I have a roofing question.
All right, would you please come up to here so we can hear you? Thank you.
Hi, I'm Michelle Locke, 4701. I want an update on what's happening with the lawsuit against the roofing company for the 27 installation, that there's problems with the roof.
The lawyers are working it through.
It's very slow.
Yeah.
Doesn't rip.
Okay, so what's the
And they're
latest?
not moving as quickly as we would like.
Or what's the latest? There's gotta be something, it's been 2 years.
This is not a topic that we talked about today at this meeting, so I'm not prepared with my information to answer any of those questions.
Can we
And
add
Can
it
you
to old
speak up?
business? Can we add it to old business? Because
Not at this time.
I'm needing to have a resolution. It should be on.
The
hold.
resolution is, the inspections that we saw did not show like material deficiencies. There are some small things that more likely than not, we're gonna either want to have fixed or be compensated for. And, you know, the lawyers have to do their thing, the reports have to be looked at, it just takes a long time. That's what, unfortunately, in this country, that's the way it's set up, it takes a long time. If I could snap my finger and resolve it, I would love to do that.
So can I ask the question again next month?
You can ask it every single month, it's America.
Anyone else? Oh, yes, you wanted to speak. Please come up.
My name is Mike Clarkman. I live in 9650 Green Cypress Lane. My wife Patricia, we live in a third floor unit. Eric, you and I have talked about this a couple of months ago. I know it is to readdress the situation with the gutters. Our gutter isn't properly installed, and I know
They're doing it, it's
Yeah.
gonna be done.
that's the clarification that I need. I know you said they were working on the first.
They're doing it, the
level.
owner of the company wants to really get the ones that he put the roofs on done because he feels like he committed to that. But they have a whole list of the repairs and you're number one on it, all
Okay,
right?
I appreciate that, thank you. And another question, my wife she had just reminded me of, being here for now almost 5 years, we noticed that the dumpster, the trash out here closest to the clubhouse gets used quite a bit. And I know that I make a conscious effort now to try to go to different dumpsters with our garbage. And now that we're going to a summer schedule of only one dumpster pickup, a week on Thursdays versus twice on Mondays and Thursdays. Is it possible?
Which is what we've done every year.
Right, but is it possible to, to maybe promote the use of using the other dumpsters by
Well-
the residents so that this one doesn't get so trashed? Just because we have
Yeah.
raccoon issues again?
No, I think that's a good idea, and just for everybody's knowledge, the one that's on Blackberry, as you go on the north end of north end of Blackberry, the one with the real long driveway, that seems to be the most sparsely used one, and it has a lot of room. So if you don't mind driving your trash, if you drive your trash anyway,
The one by Villa?
the one, not the one on the corner of Villa and Blackberry,
Please don't speak out.
if you make a right on Blackberry and go down, there's one, it's in the condo 2A area where those 9 villas are grouped together. And it has a real long driveway and the nice pink flowers planted along it. That's the one that usually has the most room. So if people want to not have that problem, and if you're driving your trash to the garbage anyway, which I know a lot of people do, you may want to just drive over there.
That's good to know, thank you. I know when I go get my mail, sometimes I'll use that dumpster instead of using this one, which is actually closer for us, so. Yeah, well, I appreciate that. I just wanted to make you aware that it is becoming an issue again with the raccoons back there. Thank you.
Yeah, we thinned out the raccoon population quite a bit earlier this year, and we may need to do a little more of it, but we thinned it out quite a bit earlier this year, so hopefully it was a little better than it was.
Yes, please come up.
Bill England, 4761 Lakeside Club Boulevard. I have a question about the code of conduct that you sent out, you gave out to everyone. Which rule do we go by?
All of
Because
them.
on number 2, it says you turn in a 3x5 card to the secretary before the meeting.
I can explain that for you.
You will.
Okay.
That's on your other thing too.
There are 2 methods of speaking at this meeting that you guys can take advantage of. The open forum that we do at the beginning of the meeting is not something that the board is required to do, nor is this section of the meeting not required. The board implemented that a long time ago, I think Tom, when you were on the board, and some other people, to promote transparency and be as transparent as possible, because everybody has a vested interest here, and I think it's a great thing. But there's a difference. You sign in and check next to your name or write yes on the sign-in sheet. That's for the open forum. You can come up here and ask the board anything you want. There's no restriction. You have 4 minutes. Come up here and you can ask them what they had for dinner last night, I guess, if you want to. But you can, meaning you can bring up your topic, whatever that may be. What the 3x5 card is say you're dead set against a dog area, or you really want a dog area, either way, and you want to speak at the time that the board is going to address that issue, you turn in a 3x5 card.
Okay.
So, and the reason the 3x5 card, that's, I don't know if it's statutory, but that's the way most places do it, because they don't want to do an open forum where it's anybody can ask anything, but we do that.
I just appreciate you clearing that up for me.
Yeah, I'm happy to. Yeah.
And I do appreciate you sending out these little papers there to let everyone know how we're supposed to act. I know we didn't act that way last time. I
Well,
appreciate your,
And just
Thank you.
appreciate you
much.
staying anyway.
thank you very much. I
just
appreciate
so
it.
everybody knows that
I
code,
appreciate all of you.
code of conduct has been in place longer than I've worked here, longer than the same code of conduct. We didn't change one word of it. It's just what's expected out of board.
Anyone else?
Hi.
Yes, ma'am. Would you come up, please?
I'm on my way.
Okay.
It's about the roofing thing, and I know that they're finished and all, but is there any way that they can, like, I have trash
Microphone,
in.
please.
Better?
Can you speak into the microphone?
Yeah, I have trash that's from the roofers, like, wasn't intentional,
Just
obviously.
give a call to the office and we're gonna have to punch out something.
Yeah, because we can't, I would get it if I could reach
We'll make
it,
like
but it's like.
a punch list, and then, the roofers are making their own punch list of what they know, and then we're gonna compile
Like I
and
said,
get back and fix
I
it.
would, if I could reach
But
it, I would get
the
it.
main construction of the roofing is done now, it's just kind of cleaning up, yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to see if anybody was going to address that issue.
Thank you.
But give a call
I
tomorrow.
think everybody,
Give a call tomorrow to the office and let us know the address and where it is, so that way we can make sure it's on the list.
I think everybody would agree they were a really, really good contractors that took care of things.
Oh, no, I
Beautifully.
know.
I know, honey, I know you,
Yeah.
that too, but I think they just did and when I think back at some of the things that happened before, you know.
It wasn't, I know it wasn't intentional, no, I know, I just said,
That's right.
yeah, if it gets windy,
Thank
and it'd just be
you.
nice if we could get it.
Thanks for letting
Yeah.
us know. Anyone else?
And just I guess you can't judge roofers based on this, but it's interesting. I think we had 3 people get a nail in their tire this time. We did the same amount of roofing last time, I had a whole coffee mug full of nails. So,
That's better.
that's a positive thing, shows at least they're cleaning up and trying, you know.
Since there is no one else, you want to? Okay, girl, you're just about to miss it. Get over
Okay,
there.
another one. Are the cleaning people still here? I check condos, there isn't a stairwell, there isn't a door that's clean, I have to wipe around the doors, there's cobwebs everywhere. The stairwells are, going up the stairs are just absolutely filthy, filthy.
We can talk about that and let you know where the schedule
Okay.
is and when your building is done, so that way you can look at it
Anybody else?
after it's done.
Oh, yes, another one.
About the stairwell, they were at 4701 today, and they don't vacuum, they blow.
Oh, they blow.
Yeah.
And so we still have carpet, so it looks like
Well,
it
on the
was
stair-
never vacuumed.
On the stairwells, even when George was here, he would blow the stuff down the stairwells, it's the only thing. That carpeting is probably the worst carpeting we can have out there, everything sticks to it. We started the girls that do the cleaning with a more powerful vacuum today, so hopefully that'll work a lot better, but,
So they'll come back?
yeah, they're here almost every day. So they may not have vacuumed or so they may have finished.
They
up.
may not come back to that plain area tomorrow. It may be their schedule, but they'll be back.
One thing that we're doing with them is, because what happens is, people come in and they work, and the first 4 or 5 hours, they're working really good, but then it gets hot, and by the end of the day, they're tired, and you're not getting what we're getting in the morning. So instead of having them come in and work 8 and 10-hour days, we're having them work 4 and 5-hour days. And I think overall, that's, number one, they're here more often, and number two, we're getting fresh legs and fresh mind and fresh, you know.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to thank the board overall and everybody here. We're about ready to leave, and we just can't tell all of you how much we appreciate the support and the caring that everybody in this community gets. And I don't want to argue over dog parks or anything. Let's get down to what it is. It's about life.
It is about life.
And we're just really grateful to have so many people that support us.
Right.
And we'll see you in October.
Good. Have a wonderful time. Okay, anybody else? Hearing no one, seeing no one, this meeting is adjourned.
Since I missed the day,